Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one, coming to you with a Tuesday market recap. Hope everybody had a very beautiful day. And in today's markets, guys, well, we didn't have much in terms of macroeconomic news. That really comes tomorrow. Big day tomorrow for the markets. We have our CPI inflation report coming in for the month of April. The expectation is for about 3.4%. So it stands to argue, guys, obviously we've had now 4 months of hotter than expected inflation, and tomorrow is a very important day. If we do see a higher than expected print here on the CPI, it's not going to be a very good day for the markets, but they do have a lot of space that they've created over the last 2 weeks to fall back and to big support levels. But obviously, guys, if CPI comes in lower than expected, it will be really reversing a 4-month uptrend in inflation, and the markets could really like that. We are currently in striking distance of our all-time highs, so it's going to be a question. If we get a positive data result, we may just likely break the all-time highs because we're so close to them. But if ever we get a negative print, guys, don't worry. We do have a lot of support below us right now on our technical analysis part, right? So in today's video, guys, we're going to go over exactly those expectations for CPI tomorrow and how they may impact our charts in terms of where we could potentially see some reaction by the bulls if ever we fall, and where we could potentially go to the upside in terms of follow through scenarios past our all-time highs. So we're going to take a look at our major technical analysis rundown first, and then take a look at our major big tech stocks second. We're not going to do a portfolio update today, guys, simply because I didn't really take any more trades today. So they're really the same positions as I had yesterday. Now, in terms of our earnings, we didn't really have much in the form of earnings today. We had Alibaba and Home Depot. I will be covering those tomorrow on the channel, not today. Just a bit short on time here today, guys. So I'll be covering those tomorrow after the close. And then on Thursday, we'll be covering Walmart and Applied Materials as 2 of your larger names. Applied Materials, a very, very interesting name in the form of semiconductors. So as a whole, guys, that's pretty much what we're going to do for today's video. Let's jump into it right now. SPY up 0.46%, QQQ up a healthy 0.64%, and really nice broad market rotation across all of your indexes. Everyone participating today, and has been the case for the last 2 weeks of rally, right? So in terms of your market performance, guys, it was really led to the upside by big tech. Most of your big tech names were green, especially led to the upside by semiconductors. Healthcare was a little bit mixed, although it did print green for the day, and financials as well, a little bit mixed. Your banks were up, your credit card issuers were down, but the sector did okay. In terms of the bottom half of the market as well, you can see very, very mixed market, but your larger names gains did compensate for the smaller names losing a little bit on the day, which gives us a very beautiful one-day relative performance result here. All of your major sectors here pretty much in the green, except for consumer defensives lagging a bit behind. But on the 1 week relative, guys, you can see that really nice broad market performance over the last week, which really tells me that this rally has been more broad-based than not, right? SPY up, technology has been up, financials have been up as well, healthcare has been up, semiconductors have been up, even your growth stocks benefiting from this rally in the market. So it's really not tied into big tech this time. It's really a more broad-based rally, which does show that there's still a lot of confidence in these markets. So let's get right into our technical analysis, guys, and we're going to start it off with the SPY, and you're going to see not much has changed. Very, very simple analysis here, right? So top-down analysis, let's start it off on the weekly and give our expectation, right? So the bulls have now claimed back almost 100% of the move, giving them a ton of space for a potential fallback if ever inflation is negative tomorrow, right? If ever we have bad data. That being said, on the daily, we are still in a very stable daily uptrend. Any move lower, just going to be looking for a higher low above 515 to potentially continue this daily uptrend into the all-time highs. However, if we have a big pullback day tomorrow, we do have a lot of fallback areas below us, right? We have all the short-term moving averages, the 12, the 26, and the 50, and we have this big green box of horizontal support as well. So it's going to be very tough for the bears to do something like this, right? It's probably not going to happen. So what might be the most likely scenario if ever tomorrow's data is relatively weak? Well, we could see something like this, maybe the start of a new daily downtrend, consolidation, which would just be us looking for that weekly higher low for further trend continuation. The markets are looking very good right now, and I don't see many red flags. Obviously, if you want continuation to the upside off of bullish print tomorrow, well, then you want to see us eclipse the all-time highs, come back, sit on them as support, and then rise. That would be a very juicy trade. We call that the breakout retest trade. This retest area for a future long could be a very, very interesting trade setup. Moving on to the QQQs right now. QQQs, same analysis as the SPY, pretty much. Not much changes here, right? Beautiful daily uptrend right now for the bulls, looking extremely gorgeous. Any move lower, just going to be looking for a higher low, anything above 431.21. Looking for that daily higher low for further trend continuation. Very close to the all-time highs, guys. Tomorrow, if the data is good, we're only about 0.5, 0.7 away from your all-time highs. So it could be an opportunity for the bulls to really break above and maybe come back and sit and use this whole previous all-time highs as support for the breakout retest and run trade. If ever inflation comes in weaker than expected, well then guys, even if we start a daily downtrend here, just remember we have a lot of support. The moving averages are here, and we have this big horizontal box of support, 436 down to about 428. Just going to be looking same thing, right? Weekly downtrend, 100% engulfing move. If we come down, maybe over the next few days, maybe next week as well, just going to be looking for that weekly higher low for further trend continuation. The bulls have created a lot of space, and it really puts the probabilities on their side to get this weekly uptrend back. It is looking very, very healthy if you ask me. Now, moving on to financials. Financials also looking very, very healthy, participating in the rally as well. Daily uptrend is very gorgeous, looking for a daily higher low as soon as this move is topped out. Anything above 40.2, just looking for that daily higher low for further trend continuation. Keep an eye on this level right here, prior resistance 41.20, and your moving averages as confluence. That could be a first touch level for the bulls. And even guys, if tomorrow's data is negative and we set the daily downtrend on financials, just remember that even financials have created a lot of space on the weekly, guys. Anything pretty much above 40.2, just going to be looking for that weekly higher low for further trend continuation. The bulls doing a great job of protecting the weekly 12 EMA, even in times of utmost fear like we had 2-3 weeks ago. So financials looking very, very strong as well. And any decrease in inflation tomorrow, guys, is going to favor financials just because it's going to bring rates down, right? We've been having this nice downtrend on your long-term yields, 20-year and even the 10-year. And if tomorrow's inflation data is good, those could see further fallbacks, right? Now, that could play into financials' hands at really eclipsing these all-time highs. So not looking too bad on financials at all. Now moving on to XLV Healthcare. So XLV Healthcare also looking fairly good. The context is still this continuous, gorgeous daily uptrend right now. And you can see, guys, that any single pullback right now, just going to be for a higher low, anything above 139.51, higher low for further trend continuation. You have your moving averages here, and you have this previous level right here, guys, 141.50. That is previous resistance of these levels right here. Could be a nice zone for the bulls to touch and then start attacking this resistance area. That's if ever the data tomorrow is negative, right? We may have a little bit of a fallback. If ever the data is positive, we would need to really start closing above this 145 level. That is previous support, which is now turned into resistance. So if the data is positive, would like to see the bulls mount above this level, sit on it, and then start attacking the all-time highs. But all in all, guys, healthcare is mounting a very, very juicy recovery right now. Even on the weekly, guys, the size of the weekly bounce, right? Weekly downtrend, the size of this weekly bounce is now getting quite adequate, right? The bulls on healthcare have been some of the weakest bulls. You can see that financials have recovered 100% of the move, QQQ 100% of the move, SPY 100% of the move, and even semiconductors 100% of the move. The ones that are lagging behind is kind of healthcare, but still we're now up to about a 62% bounce, which is very good. It gives the bulls the best shot at whenever this chart starts reversing to set the weekly higher low to start attacking these all-time highs once more. So not looking too bad on financials at all. Now, give me a quick second. This stream is sponsored by Celsius Holdings, of course. Unofficial sponsor, but I really like their energy drinks and I like their stock. So moving on to SMH Semiconductors, looking fairly good as well, guys. The bulls have created a ton of space, and now we are still in the context of this beautiful daily uptrend. Any move lower, just going to be looking for a higher low above 218.71. That is a very big level here, guys. Prior resistance, newfound support. Your moving averages are there. And right below that, we do have a nice area of support too, 216 down to about 212, right? That is a prior big weekly level of support. So it stands to argue that semiconductors, same thing, guys. If tomorrow's data is bullish, we do have the possibility of starting to attack these all-time highs. But if ever the data is negative, we have a lot of room to fall back. Even if we were to set a daily downtrend, we do have a lot of space on the weekly, guys, just looking for a weekly higher low for further trend continuation. And within this green box, even the weekly 12 EMA is right there too. So the market's looking very healthy leading into tomorrow. Whether it's positive, we're close to the all-time highs, and if it's negative, we have a lot of space created below us to eventually pull back and reset a bit lower. Moving on to IWM Russell right now. So IWM not looking too bad either. Even growth stocks participating in this last 3 weeks of rally looking very good. Very nice daily uptrend right now. Any move lower just going to be looking for a higher low above 202.60. Higher low for further trend continuation. Looking very, very decent on the Russell. However, if we were to lose this tomorrow as a byproduct of higher than expected inflation, well, the growth stocks are probably not going to like that too much. And we could see a hefty pullback. So in terms of the weekly, guys, the weekly was always in a nice weekly uptrend. We lost it, and now the bulls have put in a sizable bounce. The size of the bounce is quite decent, guys, looking at an almost 80% bounce right now. So it stands to argue, even if we lose the daily uptrend, set a daily downtrend, we're above a few big levels. Above our moving averages, the bulls have created a lot of space, and now we can maybe come back and sit within this red box. That is your prior support right here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Basically a big, big area of congestion over the last 2 years. So I would like to see the bulls use this area as support and maybe launch another attack on that 212 area. The 212, guys, is so huge. It's going to take us a big momentum catalyst to take us through that. And maybe tomorrow, if tomorrow is bullish, that could be the one that really starts sending us through this level. And now lastly, the Dow Jones. Dow Jones not looking too bad at all. Very, very healthy move on the Dow Jones, right? Daily uptrend, clear as day right now. Any move lower just going to be for a higher low. Anything above 37,800 looking for a higher low for further trend continuation. The bulls have created a ton of space on the Dow Jones above the moving averages and above our most recent area of support right here, which is going to be your 38,600 down to about 38,300 level. Looking very, very good, even if tomorrow's negative and we start setting a daily downtrend. I'll remind you, the space created on the weekly is gorgeous right now on the Dow Jones, right? The bounce has been over 80%, almost 90% bounce. So any extended pullback on the weekly, guys, just looking for that weekly higher low for further trend continuation. I see no red flags in the markets right now. The bulls have created a lot of space off the lows, guys, and really stand a good chance at attacking our all-time highs. And if the data is unfavorable tomorrow, it may just be a question of a short-term setback for a long-term continuation of this rally. I really don't see anything that can derail these markets in a permanent fashion unless we get some very, very negative jobs data or unless we get some very, very negative GDP data from the economy, two things which so far has not happened. So now moving into our big tech names, let's take a look at Apple real quick. So Apple also looking fairly decent, 0.62% to the upside. And Apple, guys, has created a ton of space off these lows. The chart is looking gorgeous right now. Daily uptrend is confirmed. Higher highs. So now, as soon as this move tops out, any move lower just going to be looking for a higher low, anything above 180.6. Higher low for further trend continuation. Now, where is Apple going to have to battle through next? Well, we're coming up on a big one right now, guys. That's 189, 180, your next area of resistance. And if we get through that, we're really on to the all-time highs. Apple looking very, very decent. However, if for some which reason, guys, the bulls fail the 190 test of this prior resistance right here, well, we have a ton of space. Even if we set the daily downtrend for some reason, guys, just looking for a healthy weekly pullback, right? Weekly downtrend this entire time, engulfing move. So any pullback lower for 1 week, 2 weeks, no matter how long it is, right? I am expecting the bulls to set the higher low to try and get that weekly trend change in their favor. Tons of moving average support down here. And I still do believe the 180 to 178 pocket represents such a juicy trade opportunity for Apple if they do give it to us once more. The stock is looking very, very healthy after their earnings, and I really do like this price action. Now moving on to AMD. AMD also not looking too bad at all. Trying to mount a little bit of recovery today, 1.73% to the upside, right? Trying to set the daily higher low and go for that daily trend change. That would be a break of 158. If we can get above 158, yes, we are attacking this area of resistance. It may be difficult for us to get through. That's 165 to 158. But at least we'll be well on our way here, guys, to setting the daily uptrend. Maybe give us a higher low, something like this, and then smash it with a little bit more momentum, right? So that area, that red box right here is going to act as resistance, but we also have the moving averages ahead of us right now. So it's not going to be the easiest time for the bulls to get through. However, if we do get through this area right here, guys, on the daily and set the daily uptrend like this, it's going to look very good for the weekly, right? Weekly downtrend right now could just be the start of a weekly engulfing move. And that will be a break of this guy right here, right? 163. If we can really engulf the 163, engulf the third leg of selling right here, gives us a great chance to reset this into a weekly uptrend, get above this area of resistance, sit on it, and then run further. And if ever, guys, we break down, just know that below us, we do have some decent support down here, 142 down to about 132. This is a very sweet spot location looking for any trades on AMD, as we're just looking for the longer term timeframes, monthly higher lows into further trend continuation. Your monthly 12 EMA is right there. And ever since we've really started breaking above your longer term moving averages, they've been using this 12 EMA as nice support. So that is really where I expect the extent of this move down to pretty much come to a stop for AMD. So I'll be looking for trades. If ever we continue breaking down here, guys, into this green box, this is where I'm going to be looking to make some trades on AMD myself. Now, moving on to Amazon. Amazon not looking too bad at all, right? Up 0.27%. Amazon actually dropping early on in the morning and recapturing a lot of those losses intraday, right? So daily uptrend clear as day, always looking for the daily higher low for further trend continuation, right? Now, what are we doing on the hourly, right? Hourly downtrend, that was for your daily consolidation. And look what happened towards the end of the day. Engulfing move. If we continue this hourly march forward tomorrow in terms of the hourly uptrend, you can be confident in saying that your daily higher low is set, and that will be attacking our all-time highs. Could be the all-time rally for Amazon tomorrow if ever inflation does come in lighter than expected, right? If ever, however, the markets are negative tomorrow, we continue this daily pullback. Tons of space above 174.50, guys, looking very good for that daily higher low for further trend continuation. And if ever we break down into a daily downtrend, let's say, well, guys, the bulls have created a ton of space on the weekly, right? Anything above 166.25, looking for that weekly higher low for further trend continuation. If we pull back in an extended fashion, target your 12 EMA right here. It's been doing a great job of holding the 12 EMA this entire time, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous touches, and rallies forward as soon as it touches it. So 180 down to about 175. This pocket right here seems to be like a very juicy location to trade Amazon if ever it gives us those entries. Now, moving into our next one, Google, give me a quick second. All right, moving into Google right now. So up 0.6%, not doing too bad on the day at all. Gorgeous daily uptrend as well, right? Google is currently in a little bit of a tightening range, but it is still in the context of a very nice move up after earnings. If we get a break of 173.15 tomorrow, daily uptrend simply continues, and you guys know the rules, right? Any move lower at that point, looking for the daily higher low for further trend continuation. Anything above 166, higher low for further trend continuation. However, if ever inflation is bad tomorrow and the markets have a little bit of a tumble, well, we could be expecting maybe something like this, where we lose the daily uptrend and start a little bit of weekly consolidation, similar to what we've been doing sideways for the last 3-4 weeks. Even a little bit more of down, guys, wouldn't be too bad. The weekly bulls are in full control, even though it's kind of messy right now with all these inside candles, right? Still always looking for a weekly higher low for further trend continuation. And similar to Amazon, guys, target your weekly 12 EMA. The bulls have been doing a great job of respecting these lines, right? The only times that we've been really breaking below these lines have been a few times where earnings catalysts have kind of gone wrong for the company 2 quarters in the past. So I do think that that is a thing of the past right now. Google announcing extremely good buybacks. Long-term monthly is looking juicy. The trade location for me, guys, if ever we do break down on Google for some reason, I'll be looking for the 160 area. Great level of support. I do think the bulls pull back down into that nicely. Looking for the weekly higher low around that 12 weekly EMA. Weekly higher low for further trend continuation. Great trade location for Google for myself. I'll be looking out for that. Now moving on to Meta, guys. Meta also looking very decent on the day today. Up 0.82%. Not the biggest day for Meta, but still a green day. Still in the process of continuation of this beautiful daily uptrend right now. So as we were saying in yesterday's video, guys, we were pulling back on Meta and we were watching the hourly time frame. Loss of the hourly time frame. And now look what happened today. Recapture of the hourly time frame to the bulls. So we could be expecting that our daily higher low is set and we're just going to be moving higher. Now we do have a lot of levels of resistance, right? The moving averages are still in our face right now. We're not above them. And also above us is a horizontal line of support. It's a big one, 482, right? If we can crack that, well, the bulls could manifest a nice little breakout, retest this level as support, and continue their run higher. In terms of the weekly, guys, weekly bounce is also looking quite juicy. Weekly uptrend was obviously lost after earnings, and now we're looking for the size of the bounce, right? Size of the bounce is fairly decent on Meta, but nothing to cry home about, right? We really need to see us get above the 489. If we can get to about 489 on this one weekly move, we then create enough space. If the bulls falter, we could then set the weekly higher low and reset this weekly uptrend to the bulls. That obviously is going to be the 2-step recovery process, right? If we just don't V-shape this entirely. I, for one, think that the 2-step process is more likely just because of the size of this drop, right? So Meta stock looking very good. Meta, if we do for some reason falter, right, and come back down here, daily downtrend around the 450 level, I'll probably be writing some short puts right below here around the 430, 420 level. Looking very good on Meta as a whole. Moving on to Microsoft right now. Microsoft also looking fairly decent on the day, 0.69% to the upside and challenging the top end of our range right now, range of resistance around the 415 level, right? So it stands to argue tomorrow if inflation is very good, well, the bulls could get a nice clean break above here and really just push this daily uptrend higher and higher and then get above the support, use it as support, right? And then continue move higher. So we're now above our short-term moving averages, which is good. Which is very good for the stock, excuse me. And we're just going to be looking, guys, for the expansion of this weekly move higher. The bulls have created a lot of space between us and the lows around 387. So in the event that tomorrow is a negative data event and we just lose the daily uptrend, set a daily downtrend, couple levels of support, guys, lower end of the range, that's about the 398, 400 level right there. And just going to be looking for that weekly higher low to eventually get this weekly uptrend back in motion, similar to what we had back here. As of now, Microsoft still just consolidating sideways. The trade location for me is if we do break down here, I'm going to be looking, guys, anything under 400 as close as possible to 390. Going to be trying to write maybe some short puts on Microsoft below here. I know it's an expensive trade, but even if you're just looking to acquire long-term shares, I do believe that this hunting for the weekly higher low like this, high probability trade location for continuation, right? So looking fairly decent on Microsoft, no red flags as of just yet. Now moving on to Netflix. So Netflix doing what I'd like to see, what I pretty much like to see Meta do, right? So if you look at the chart for Netflix, you can see it really resembles Meta, how the bulls have tried to recover after their earnings. Netflix is just a little bit ahead of Meta in terms of how much they've recaptured. So gorgeous move to the upside, consolidating sideways at this point. We're trying to find the daily higher lows, right? We have a lot of juicy areas of support below us. We're now above the 601 level, which was previous support back here. And we're now also netly above the 575 level. 575 was important pretty much in 2020 and 2021, it was the area of prior all-time highs. So this range right here, guys, pretty much 599, 600, down to about 575, very strong level of support. If we do come down into here, we have our moving averages, this whole box of support as well. Would not be surprised if we get the higher low for further trend continuation. However, if ever we break down tomorrow and set a daily downtrend in motion because of negative inflation and the markets pull back for some weekly consolidation, well, the bulls have created a ton of space, guys. Take a look at the amount of space they've created, right? Over 80% bounce right now. So it stands to argue that if we do pull back, just looking for that weekly higher low for further trend continuation down the line. So all in all, guys, Netflix not looking too bad. I really like the setup on this stock. Obviously, trade location for me is if we do retest these levels down here, I'll be looking to maybe make some plays under this location if you're looking to trade short put options. But even if you want to make a cheeky long attempt to add some Netflix shares, could be a very juicy opportunity to do so. Now, moving on to NVIDIA. So NVIDIA looking very, very decent as well today, up about 1%, really holding the sideways pattern, right? NVIDIA with earnings next Wednesday. So before next Wednesday, I mean, tomorrow is obviously a pivotal day for the markets. If inflation is good, NVIDIA could stand to benefit more from that rally, and we could see a very nice 3-4% day, which could take us above these all-time highs, right? But if ever the inflation report comes in negative, may just see a bit more sideways consolidation, right? If we break these lows right here, 883.50, could be a set of a daily downtrend. But with earnings so close here, guys, we're not going to count the bulls out yet, right? What we need to stay above earnings for, in my opinion, is I would really like to see the bulls stay above this 850 level of support. They've done a great job in recapturing a lot of this weekly damage that was done over the month of April. We do have a very, very juicy bounce. So if ever, excuse me, still a little bit sick. So if ever, guys, we do take a little bit of a reset here into the remainder of the week for earnings. Obviously, we only have 2 weekly candles this week, which remains, and the start of next week. We could come down into these levels, and then it'll be all up to earnings. If earnings are bullish, could be expecting the weekly breakout pattern. And if earnings are for some reason underwhelming, let's say they come in line with expectations, but don't raise guidance, you guys have seen what's happened to Microsoft, to Netflix and to Meta, right? Even if numbers are good, but the companies don't raise guidance significantly, you may just get a little bit of a drop in a stock. And at that point, we'd just be going in for the weekly higher low for further trend continuation down the line. NVIDIA with tons of space, anything above 750, guys, just looking for that weekly higher low for the further trend continuation. No red flags as of yet. Keep your eyes peeled for earnings. Now, moving on to Tesla. Excuse me. Now, moving on to Tesla, guys, 3.29% to the upside. Very, very good day for Tesla. And it stands to argue, guys, that for Tesla tomorrow at least, since tomorrow is such a interest rate sensitive day, right? In terms of inflation, if inflation goes down, yields will go down. It may benefit some of the interest rate sensitive stocks such as Tesla. So Tesla mounting somewhat of a decent recovery here today. Obviously, we had this massive earnings push to the upside, and now we're kind of consolidating, right? It's a daily downtrend, but what are we looking for? Just looking for a little bit of a weekly higher low, right? Weekly engulfing move. Downtrend right here, engulfing move, and now the bulls need to set the higher low and reverse this into a weekly uptrend. We have not had a weekly uptrend on Tesla, guys, arguably since last October, right? And in a more clear fashion since pretty much last July. So it's been a very long time that we've had a very clear, beautiful weekly uptrend. That being said, guys, we're really battling with one of our last areas of support. Would not want to see the bulls lose the 161. So we do still have a little bit of space for further daily consolidation if ever tomorrow is a down day, which gives the bulls a last attempt at protecting these lows before trying to reverse this into a weekly uptrend. So Tesla, not quite out of the woods yet. How you'll know that the weekly lows are set, guys, is we need to see a reversal of this daily downtrend back to the bulls. Give me the daily higher low and daily trend change, and then you will know your weekly higher lows are set, and then you can maybe make a little bit of a trade attempt on Tesla. The stops would come under these lows right here, and then you'll probably be targeting the upwards bounds of the 200 level, right? So at that point, you might be risking about $10 worth of risk, and your reward is about $30 right up into these moving averages and these prior areas of resistance right here. So we'll see what happens with Tesla tomorrow. The bulls not looking too bad, but still a lot of work cut out for them. Now moving on to Palantir. Palantir also moving fairly nicely on the day, up a healthy 2.39%. A shame they couldn't really close the top end of the move. They got as high as about 22 today. But what we're doing really nicely, guys, is after earnings, right? We had this big hourly downtrend. Sorry, I'm kind of just drawing it quickly, right? And now finally a nice reversal to the hourly uptrend to the bulls, which means our daily bounce is underway. Now, where do we react from? You can see we reacted from the moving averages, as I was saying in the past days' videos. And that's not the first level resistance, right? We also have the 23 level right there. Prior support, prior resistance. Resistance could be acting as resistance once again. What we need to see from the bulls, guys, is we need to see the size of this daily bounce continue. As we saw on our indexes, the size of the bounce is key in determining whether or not the bulls have enough juice to get the daily trend reversal. So I would like to see the bulls personally come at least up until the 23, which would be a 50% retracement. At best, all the way up to 23.42, which would be the 618 retracement, gives them the best chance at reversing this daily uptrend. But for now, the bears are still in control, right? We're always expecting the lower high and then potentially retest these lows. It all depends where's the lower high going to be. If it's right here, well, then we are most likely going to try and retest these lows. However, if the bulls continue, the odds shift in the bulls' favor the higher we go to reset this daily uptrend. So all in all, not looking bad on Palantir. This trade location right here, $20 down to $19, still a very juicy level in my opinion. It is your monthly big level of support. Resistance, so should be acting as support. I'll remind you, just looking for the monthly higher low for further trend continuation into this $28 mark, maybe over the course of the year. At least one thing's for sure, I do like Palantir down below in these levels. Seems to be like a juicy trade location for me. Now, lastly, moving into PayPal. PayPal not looking too bad on the day, up about 1%, but PayPal really still trapped in the context of this daily downtrend right here, right? So the bulls are trying their best to put in somewhat of a recovery move. They're just not getting the job done right yet, right? So now we do have a little bit of a bounce underway. What we need to see is the bounce continue as high as possible in relation to this guy right here, 66.78. If we can get more of a sizable bounce, if you always put the fibs on this, guys, right? So if we're all the way up to about 38%, that's not high enough. We need to see at least a bounce up to 65.33. If we get a bounce to 65.33, the bulls have a chance at reversing this into a daily uptrend and potentially start reattacking these weekly highs. If I can get my chart to cooperate right now. So you can see, right, weekly nice uptrend, consolidation range, tightening range right now. So maybe the bulls just perpetuate this tightening range, guys, until we're ready for a breakout. However, if we fail this location right here, set the daily downtrend when we absolutely need to protect 63 to 61. Extremely crucial because it is your weekly levels, guys. If we lose these weekly levels, unfortunately, we're going to be closing down into a weekly downtrend, and that would just mean more monthly consolidation. The bulls have done a great job at trying to set up for the monthly trend change. We have not had a monthly uptrend on PayPal since all the way back in 2021. This is the first attempt at it, so we need to get some follow through. PayPal stock, as I've said many times on the channel, I don't believe that this stock is going to do anything groundbreaking this year in terms of margin improvements and other things like that, right? It is a transition year for the company. At best, what's going to happen with this company is that they sandbagged their own expectations, means that they're guiding low to potentially beat high, right? That wouldn't be really outperformance. That would just be management guiding low to then come in higher, right? It's kind of an artificial beat, but the stock can benefit from an overall rally in the markets. I don't think PayPal will be left behind. And if the overall markets continue marching to the all-time highs, guys, you guys know the drill. The next area of probable location to break out to is about the $75 mark. Not looking too bad on PayPal, just not having the greatest momentum right now. So that's pretty much everything I had for you guys today in today's video. A bit of a shorter video. I hope you guys enjoyed the shorter video. If you did, consider dropping a like down below. Would really appreciate it for the growth of the channel. And also consider subscribing if you're new, guys. Almost 1,400 subscribers. I love each and every one of you guys. You've made this journey so fun so far. And we're not going to stop. We're going to stay locked into these markets and continue grinding our accounts higher and continuously trying to beat the indexes time and time again. So hopefully you've been having fun on this journey with me alike. It's been over a year now and I've enjoyed every single day of it. And as usual, guys, lastly, if you have any questions, macro, TA, options play you're considering, leave it down below in the comments and I'll always be happy to answer you within the first 24 hours. So all that being said, guys, have a very beautiful day tomorrow. Be very careful about CPI. Be patient. Let trades come to you. Happy trading. All the best. Take care. See you tomorrow after the close. Peace.